So our next question this evening is, what is the rule on a store's liability for keeping their floor safe? If there is a wet floor and the store puts warning signs up, are they free of any responsibility if someone slips and falls anyway? And Mike, can you please answer that question?
So generally speaking, yes, a store or a business owner, they have to warn of known dangers, such as a wet floor if they're mopping in an area. But sometimes it's going to be factually intensive. So I had a case here. It was a gas station here in Jackson where they had put a wet floor sign up, but where my client entered the store, she couldn't see the sign because it was behind a display, right? She walked in, she fell in the area. It was 7 or 8 feet from where they had the wet floor sign. We were able to obtain an incredible recovery on her behalf. So it's factually intensive, but generally speaking, if they put wet floor signs up, it's going to make it difficult, but not always that case. So it can be done, but you'll have to look at all the facts.
Yes, especially this time of year with all the rain, 1 week it's raining, 1 week it's not. So what are your thoughts about, just the consistency of stores having issues around this time too as well? Just your advice, also like in your situation here, because, okay, I'll just go ahead and say it. There was a similar situation at a local store myself, and I actually heard the young lady tell another worker to make sure the sign was out far enough. And that was one of her concerns. She's like, I keep having to put that out there all the time. Somebody else keeps moving it. And so obviously this is a situation that played out at this grocery store. But I know the young lady that works at this grocery store. And so I was teasing her about it. And I just, advice from LawCall, you want to make sure that it is visible for anyone coming and going.
Absolutely. It can be extremely dangerous for folks. I mean, the elderly go into a store, and guess what? I mean, if they fall on a wet floor because they can't see a sign, sometimes injuries can be significant. So the general rule, and we see this a lot, they'll put wet floor signs at the beginning of where it gets wet, at the end of where it gets wet, on the left side of where it's wet, the right side of where it's wet. They try to have cones in the general area of where there could be a wet floor.
Yes. I hope my little friend's not watching. I didn't say her name, but